I walk clear around, I don't touch the dollar, walk clear, stay in the around. I know you can.
So I got up there and said, I got up there and
One time.
was out here. But you guys all know you and I were talking about people who forgot. I remember like me twice.
Testing.
Welcome, everyone. Today's date is August 12, 2024. The time is 5:30 p.m. We are gathered at 10 West State Street, which happens to be the City Hall Council Chambers. Here for a regularly scheduled meeting. We are called to order with those who can join us in the pledge. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Fonseca? Here. Kell?
Here.
Lottie Hoff?
Here.
Mitchell?
Here.
Nichols?
Here.
Schneider?
Here.
Thompson?
Here. Oh, it's nice to have a full house up here again, I got to tell you. All right, I get to read this public comment proviso as follows. Members of the public may make comments on any item that was not on the agenda at this time. The speaker is to approach the mic, state your name and address, limit your comments to 3 minutes unless I authorize longer, direct your comments to the mayor and council as a whole, and the mayor and councilors shall not engage in discussion or debate on those items raised by members of the public, and no action may be taken on those items, else we might fail to comply with the open meetings laws. With that said, the microphone's open.
Hello, Jim Shaw, 522 North 2nd Street. When city councils, school boards, and other government bodies hold public meetings, they often allocate time for public comments. During this time, members of the public may address government officials and speak on topics of public concern. When government officials retaliate or try to silence these speakers at these public meetings based on the content of their speech, significant First Amendment implications arise. Sometimes the government officials even eject the speakers or try to have them arrested. They try to justify this by saying they are personal or demeaning attacks on public officials. But these justifications are just a pretext to shut down or silence speakers because they are either critical of the official or they offer a viewpoint the official dislikes. When public officials act out like this, they violate several First Amendment principles. The Supreme Court explained this in New York Times versus Sullivan, that there is a national commitment to the principle that debate on public issues should not be inhibited, robust, and wide open. The First Amendment prohibits government officials from silencing speakers based on their point of view. This is called viewpoint discrimination in the First Amendment. When the government official discriminates, it impedes the ideas by allowing the expression of some ideas but not others. During public comment, government officials must tolerate viewpoints they disagree with or don't like. Such is the nature of being a public official in a robust democracy. The court wrote in a decision, Texas versus Johnson, that there is a bedrock principle underlying the First Amendment that the government may not prohibit the expression of an idea simply because they find it offensive or disagreeable. The government cannot discriminate against speech based on its content or viewpoint. The court articulated this more clearly in a Chicago Police Department versus Mobley. Above all else, the First Amendment means that a government may not restrict speech because of its message, its ideas, or speech matter, or its content. The First Amendment law, government officials are not allowed to discriminate on the speech. Thank you.
Mike is still open.
Hi, good evening. I'm Julie Miller. I'm the owner of the building 30 East Main Street, which is right beside Sports Plus. I call it the cute one. I'm here on behalf of the people who rent from me and also myself. I think there's some anxiety building and concerns regarding the tear up of Main Street, what phase we're in, what types of accommodations will be made to get into our Main Street location. I bought the building right after the tornado. I invested a lot of money in the remodel, the front, the interior. There was only like 3 people in the building at that time, and I have a full house of 12 now. In and out in that building each week is approximately 500, we estimated. So that's a lot more traffic than I think some people realize, with a salon, massage therapist, home decor, and then I have an apartment upstairs. So there is a lot of anxiety with that. With the back State Street, the J parking lot is almost always full. A lot of logistic problems with them getting parked during the day. We try to leave the front open for clients and park somewhere further out. For some of my salon people, that's even difficult because they're aging and that's a hard place with no clear sidewalks to park and get out. Also, the alleyway is very crumbly, not lit, especially on winter nights, not safe. For my apartment upstairs, I have 2 residents that are family right now. One is a tiny little gal, and she has to park at night between 2 bars and walk through that alley. We were parking for those 2 people in my family on the front by the courthouse, and then the signs went up that we couldn't. That was under the lights, and it was very safe. I guess I'm requesting on their behalf for the apartment and for me that maybe a tag or a sticker or something that they could park overnight and be gone by the morning to go to work. I realize there's snow ordinance and that type of thing that could be a problem, but that's a couple times a year, and everyone in Iowa is very aware of getting your car moved. And it would take very little for me to manage that with the apartment. So I counted the spaces in parking lot J. There's 61 spaces. I don't know if, the ebb and flow, if my building would qualify for some designated parking downtown. Starry Night, where the mural is, I thought that would be an ideal extra parking spot for some designated parking. I've really tried to think through some solutions. My back entry is not safe. I cannot have them park in J and come in the back when Main Street's getting redone. I've had bids anywhere from $80,000 to $108,000. If I put that kind of money, even if I could get that money, it's well and above what my building's worth. So I'm at a standstill for my back entry right now. There's an old coal chute, goes down 20 feet. All that has to get demoed. Alliant Energy lines moved just to get a safe back entry. So it's very complicated. It seems like, why can't you just do a back entry? That's why. The old coal chute is there, and it's just a nightmare. So I can't get a back safe entry when Main Street gets redone. So everyone knows that, and there's a lot of anxiety with that process. So others have come to talk, and I think that's about all for me. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Julie.
Lonnie Griswold. I live on 15th Street. I work with Julie in her salon. Parking is really bad. I park in J. I can hardly get up there. We talked to some people about getting permits for some of us that are more handicapped. I also have clients, because you're talking about back-end parking, I have clients that are anywhere from 70 to 80, 90 years old. They can't do back-end parking. It's just not possible for them. I know there's going to be some parallel parking, which they just drive around until they find 2 spots open. Those are my concerns. No lights in the alley going through to when we do park back there. That's bad when it's in the wintertime. I'm walking with a cane. I'd be real easy to knock over. And I noticed that this came out in the paper about all the different lots, which some of them I didn't know about. But most of those, my clients can't get to the shop from parking any of those places because they just can't walk that far. It's just too much for them. Let me look at my notes. Yeah, the back-end parking was the main thing, and then the parking. I come in at 9:15 in the morning, and J parking lot, I can maybe find 1 spot, maybe 2. So that's where we are, is mainly parking and then safety. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council. My name is Dave Grieve, Ward 1, 128 East Main Street, Dudas Diner, and Ward 4, 2327 South 5th Avenue. Anyway, I came up here to thank Ms. Fonseca for organizing a volunteer aspect to clean up a property. I had a lot of fun doing that. Near and dear to my heart is the volunteerism, giving back to your community. I really love that, so thank you very much for that. And it was a pleasure to meet Mr. Lottie there also, and encourage those kind of things in Ward 1, because it's a little rough still. Anyway, thank you very much, and also include to the parking thing. If I get going on Oddfellows, that'll be 60 to 80 cars for a 200-seat venue, and need some parking around there for that. We do have a little bit of a workaround to go through a back exit. We'd have to use QPS because you can't bring people back in through a kitchen against code. So we're a little bit cautious of what's going to happen with the Main Street upgrades. So anyway, thanks y'all very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? On to item E, and that would be Mayor, Council, and Administrator comments. Actually, let's do the oath of office first, and then if anybody up here wants to speak, they can. I can tell we have some people here supporting this. You can make it up.
Jeff, thought you were getting sworn in tonight. Talk amongst yourselves.
Microphone back on. We could, while we're transferring data, see if anybody up here does want to speak. So any council comments tonight?
Your Honor, I will.
Go for it.
Just want to remind people that the Marshtown Community Band Series is over for the summer. But if you missed one of these award-winning T-shirts that Greg designed, that you can still get them through Adlin Engraving. You can either order them in person down there, or you can order it on their website, adlinengraving24.com. All the proceeds go to the band. We can still, you can donate to the band, or you can get a T-shirt and donate to the band that way, and hopefully get them on a head start for next year. So just want to let you know. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Mayor, may I?
Please.
Yesterday at the Iowa State Fair, a big shout out to Dylan Does, our tourism director at the Marshalltown Chamber. He organized an event, and Nos Vemos in Marshalltown, which is Meet in Marshalltown, his tourism program, was a presenting sponsor at the Latino Celebration Night at the Iowa State Fair yesterday. So I went up there and spoke in front of a large group of Iowa State Fair attendees and let them know about Marshalltown and just, to meet us at our table. And it was a really good time to, show Marshalltown in that way and show our diverse aspect for sure at the Iowa State Fair.
Thank you. I already saw a social media post about that today, so that was cool. Anyone else? Okay, let's go for it here. Anyone else up here?
I'm Dave Paulson. I work for Escape on Main, and I am talking about the parking business.
And I'm sorry, sir. I really hate to do this to you. Did any of the other councilors or mayors wish to speak? Because we've already gone past that part on the agenda.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know what? If you're the only one on that topic left, go for it, and I'll put the 3-minute timer on.
Well, first of all, I think the 3-hour parking is kind of tough for us people to do hair in our salon. Sometimes it takes longer than 3 hours, and then we have to move our cars. It makes a bit of a problem for not only us but other people. Also, I think the parking business. I grew up I lived in Grinnell, Iowa, and they used to have parallel parking, and they decided to go pull in. First of all, there's more cars you can pull in, more so than parallel parking and backing in. It just makes more sense to me that that would be the way to go. just my feelings. I just think that would be a better way to go. So, thank you.
Thank you. All right, Acting Chief.
Yes, sir. J.J. Sims, please come forward. Thank you, Honorable Mayor and Council. My name is Christopher Cross. I work for the Marshalltown Fire Department. And today, I would like to administer the oath of office to our new firefighter, J.J. Sims. He's a native local guy from State Center. He's in his second week with us. He's doing great, and we're going to do the oath of office, and then we're going to have a little badging. Typically in the fire service, when we bring somebody onto the job or promote somebody into a position of higher authority within the department, they change their rank insignia and they change their badge. And so the official will swear them in, but their family member will badge them. The family member who have raised up the firefighter and supported them through their career and tolerates the long hours, whether it be a wife or a father or a mother or whomever. And the children sometimes will pin rank on the collar. So today, JJ's father, Jeff, is here, and we'll call him up when it's time, and then we'll badge him real quick and we'll get on with it, okay? JJ, raise your right hand, please. I state your name.
I, Jefferson Bruce Sims,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States of America
of the United States of America
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Iowa,
of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
and I will faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge all the duties
discharge all the duties
of the office of firefighter
of the office of firefighter
in the city of Marshalltown,
in the city of Marshalltown,
Marshall County, State of Iowa,
Marshall County, State of Iowa,
as now
as now
or hereafter required by law.
or hereafter required by law.
Very good. Congratulations. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Jeff Sims. JJ's father is going to badge him real quick. There shouldn't be much blood.
Well, you guys are you're an EMT, we know, you're trained.
On paper.
You'll have to clasp it.
There you go. Make it happen. Nice. Well, good job. Proud of you. So it's my honor to present to you firefighter J.J. Sims. Proud of you, buddy. You want to give a speech or no? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got what JJ doesn't remember, because he was only 1 or 2 years old, is he was our neighbor growing up, and boy, does that make me feel old tonight. Welcome to the force, and thank you for joining. That's great. Yeah, thank you. Okay, then I was at the point where I was asking if anybody else at the council table dais wanted to speak. Oh, good. I can reserve all the time for me then. Just quickly, we had a really exciting thing happen 2 weeks ago out in Washington, D.C., when I was able to hand deliver the application by the city, but on behalf of Trails, Inc. for the River's Edge deal. And Jeff Schneider down here has been the president of that drive to get the grant going. And I was able to meet with it's at the U.S. Department of Transportation in Washington, D.C. We're out there for a judicial conference. And I got to meet with the fellow that was out here with the director, Pete Buttigieg, when he came to Marshalltown when he was campaigning to be our president. And that gentleman came down and met with me and liked the idea. I hadn't heard about the grant application yet, but suggested that we have a video conference, a Zoom conference with the people most involved in it. So as Andrea Bolton at the Iowa Natural Heritage Foundation in charge of the trails around the whole state, and Jeff and Bruce Johnson, who was the co-chair on the project, our Jeff Huppard, who tried to log in earlier than the rest of us and wasn't able to get in. He had to call in, but he was on that call, and then I got to make the pitch. And it was really well received, and I have to tell you, we're pretty optimistic we just might get that grant. And that was one of the neatest things I've had happen, the trip to D.C. and the Zoom conference with the directors, top staff people that were listening to it. So I wanted to publicly thank Jeff for all the work behind that, and just let everybody know that project is moving along pretty fast. So we were pleased about that. And that's why I know some of you were at the, not festival, the Be Ridiculous Days, I think it was called, downtown, and I had to miss it again. I have one of the retailers that tends to sometimes mention it when I'm not here for things while I was out in Washington, D.C. that time. The other thing that happened that was really cool is Iowa State University picked 6 mayors across the state to spend a lot of time and money and resources with their design people, the design department, and the department head was there, and their landscaping department, and the department head was there for that. We had 2 days over in Ames working on trail development, and because we've already got this one going upwards to the 33 plus or minus a mile, I sometimes hear 32, sometimes 34 miles on that trail over the Iowa River. This one's going to be about trying to connect the rest of the in-town trail. Right now it's about 75% in a circle, and to try to connect along the Iowa River, under the Iowa River, out at Riverside, along the new Carl Auto Group, the Riverside Cemetery, and connect over to the Veterans Home and come out so that on Summit Street there will be a whole trail there. They're going to spend the whole year doing that. They put us up in the motel, the Gateway Hotel over there, whatever it's called now. Wined and dined us, had very nice dinners, really, really interesting neighbors from around the state that have major projects. One of them is the president of the Mayor's Association, and that guy's phenomenal. And the new Cedar Falls mayor is just really phenomenal. Anyway, I wanted you guys to know that with the work that Jeff has been doing on things like that, we actually have another project to make the recreational trails and standard living things go forward. So I wanted to talk about that one. Yes.
Maybe I missed it, but when will we know about the federal grant?
We asked that question, and was the answer that
They said wait about a month and then they'll have better guidance, but the expectations is now is probably early winter time.
Yeah,
So, but no promises from them yet.
The gal that knew said, we don't even know the timeline yet, but in a month we should know the timeline. So, yeah, don't think we'll be expecting anything tomorrow. But as long as I'm talking about parks too, I see the Hoaglands are here. And so every Sunday in honor of Al Hoop, who did this every weekend, I drove around town again and I had to drive by and see the park and see the new sign and the welcome to people to be there. And so thank you, Hoaglands, for buying our park and making it still a space for kids to play out there. So thank you. I'm accused of talking too much at these things, and boy, did I do that tonight. Let's go on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve that?
Move to approve, Your Honor.
Second.
Roll call.
Mitchell? Nichols?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Fonseca? Yes. Kell?
Yes.
Lottie
Yes.
Very good. We don't need to read them. None of them were pulled off, so let's go on to item G.
Motion to approve a 5-day special Class C retail alcohol license with outdoor service for 13th Street District Harvest Market event on September 6th.
Move to approve, Your Honor.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, Your Honor, the 13th Street District Committee will be the alcohol license holder for this event, and they will be providing the service within the barricaded street area and at the West End Park.
Very good. Comments or questions by the council? Comments or questions by the public? Roll call.
Nichols?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Fonseca? Yes. Kell?
Yes.
Lottie
Yes.
Mitchell?
Yes.
That carried unanimously, which has been a rare occurrence in this council setting for the last 10 years. What's our next motion?
Motion to approve a 5-day special Class C retail alcohol license with outdoor service for Thirsty Pigs LLC for Oktoberfest events September 26th through September 29th.
Move for approval.
Second.
Discussion up here?
Yes, the Oktoberfest Committee is going to be contracting with Thirsty Pigs to provide the alcohol service for the events, and they have been their vendor the last few years.
Thank you. Any council comment? Public comment? Roll call.
Kell?
Yes.
Lottie
Yes.
Mitchell?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Fonseca? Yes.
Very good. Unanimously carried again on to H, resolutions, and we have 2 of those.
A public hearing and resolution 2024-180 approving the real estate exchange agreement and providing for the conveyance and transfer of title of city-owned property to the Marshalltown Community School District.
I'll declare the public hearing is open at 5:56 PM. Did you get any written comments to the clerk's office?
No, Your Honor.
It is time for public comment on this one. Seeing no one rushing up to the microphone, it's then time for staff review.
Yes, Your Honor. The city owns 7.4 acres of agricultural land that's adjacent to a parcel that's owned by the Marshalltown Community School District, and that's kind of between 12th Street and Norway Drive. The school district has proposed a real estate exchange for this parcel, and then the city would in turn get Arnold's Park at 701 West Lynn Street, which the city currently leases from the school district, and then also the city would get Bicentennial Park at 507 Grandview Drive, and the school board has already approved this agreement.
And in the context, it's all in case another middle school needs to be built in a site different from where Miller Middle School is. With that, we go to council comments.
Your Honor?
Yes.
I don't know that it's necessarily middle school, it'd be for an elementary school in the future.
Yeah, I should have added that was originally supposed to be an elementary school, but then it was considered to be in case we didn't end up at Miller, and in case they could get other property around there, that might be a site there too. Yeah, I didn't mean to mislead anybody about that one. And if anybody hasn't gone through Miller to see how badly we need a new school built or rebuilt there, please do so. Any other council comments? I'll declare the public hearing is closed at 5:58 PM. Is there a motion to approve it?
Approve. Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Thompson?
Yes.
Fonseca?
Yes.
Kell?
Yes.
Lottie Huff?
Yes.
Mitchell?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
That carried. I think I saw most of you at that tour, which was, if you haven't been there, honestly, you just need to see it. It was kind of like our fire department and police station that needed to be redone. Next and last resolution.
Public hearing and resolution 2024-181 approving plan specifications, form a contract and cost for the West High Street and South 6th Street intersection improvements, project number STR 24001 in the city of Marshalltown, Iowa.
Public hearing is open to 5:59 PM. No written comments from the clerk's office. Yeah,
No.
the clerk's office, I said.
No.
Time for public comments on this one. Don't see anybody. Time for staff review.
Good evening, Heather Thomas, Public Works. This is for the intersection improvements at 6th Street and High Street. We're doing this in conjunction with a project that Marshalltown Waterworks is doing at that intersection. They'll be doing some connection in the northern portion of that intersection, so we're going to use that opportunity where the intersection is going to be closed down to do our work in the southern portion of that intersection. We'll be widening that for the fire trucks. We have bids due this Wednesday, and we have an estimated cost of $100,000. We're allowing 25 working days for this contract.
Thank you. After staff review comes council comments. Are there any?
Question for Heather, Your Honor. 25 days? It won't be closed the whole 25 days, will it?
It will be.
6th Street will be closed.
Sorry, High Street will be
Yeah,
closed.
6th Street
Not
will stay.
6th Street,
Yeah.
yep. We're going to shift traffic over into the 2 lanes on the west side of the street.
Thank you.
Wait a minute, Heather, another question?
You're out of order again, Gary. Damn it. I dare ask if there are any other council comments. I'm not going to. We'll close the meeting at 6 p.m. and this little thing tells me if it's public hearing and resolution, I should suggest somebody might want to move to approve it.
I move to approve, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Second.
Roll call.
Fonseca?
Yes.
Kell?
Yes.
Lottie Huff?
Yes.
Mitchell?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Very good. That carried as well. On to ordinances. We just have one of those.
Public hearing and second reading of ordinance 15090 to amend the Code of Ordinances, City of Marshalltown, Iowa, Chapter 157, Land Subdivision Regulations.
I'll throw it up for a motion first.
We have to have a public hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry, public hearing first. Let's say that one started at 6:01. You didn't get any written comments?
No, Your Honor.
It's time for public comment. I doubt there will be any. Don't see anybody jumping up, and so time for staff review.
I'll take that one. Jen's not here tonight. This, again, is an ordinance that we have found has some situations that needed to be brought up to date to comply to certain private drives and things like that, making sure that there are proper easements and conveyances through the process with the zoning commission.
Thank you. After staff review comes council comments. Nobody commented, so it is time to declare the public hearing closed at 6:02 p.m. And we're soliciting a motion on that. No, we have to have a third reading, don't we?
Yes, we need a motion to approve the second reading of the ordinance.
I move to approve, Your Honor.
Thanks.
Second.
Roll call.
Kell,
Yes.
Lottie Hoff,
Yes.
Mitchell,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Fonseca.
Yes.
Very good. That carried as well. On to discussion items, the first of which is the request to purchase the alley between 406 and 408 West Madison Street. Back on the discussion.
Yes, Your Honor. This item was brought forward at the last council meeting. It's a request to purchase the alley between 406 and 408 West Madison Street. Staff were directed to contact the other adjacent property owners, again, utilizing an interpreter. We did that and also got written confirmation that the adjacent owners are interested in purchasing the portion of the alley that's adjacent to their property, so they will be splitting that alley. Staff also followed up on reported nuisance violations. It did not find any violations. And if the council wants to proceed with the sale of this alley, then we'd request a motion directing staff to do so.
Thank you. Any council comment about this one first? Any public comment about this one?
Lonnie Hoagland, 1408 East Main. I didn't know anything about this till I was up here the other night. I drove past to take a look. I heard something about a grievance of looked trashy or something. It looked great. I don't really understand why the one guy owns property on one side of the alley. He maybe owns property on the other side of the alley, and the city would sell him the alley. Well, we're going to sell alleys to everybody just because they own both sides? I don't know, but no, don't drive through my property. I own it now. It's my alley. I can, I think it's a slippery slope selling alleys. It's just a little short piece of an alley, but you're starting to sell alleys, I guess. So good luck.
Any other comment? Solicit a motion to direct staff, if there is one.
Your Honor, I'd make the motion to direct staff as outlined.
Thank you. Is there a second to that?
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Mitchell,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Fonseca,
Yes.
Kell,
Yes.
Lottie Hoff.
Yes.
Very good. That carried as well. Let's go on to the next item, which is the tool share lending program.
Yes, Your Honor. Sharon Greer had made public comment a few meetings ago and proposed a tool share lending program for citizens who are in need of yard tools, and Councilor Fonseca is going to talk more about that.
Yes, so at the last meeting, Sharon Greer had mentioned that she wanted to donate these tools, and so we just need to discuss if we would like to move forward with this. I think that it's a good thing for the community to have a resource to rent out any tools they're needing. These are like head shears, pruners, different non-power tools, and it's a good way to provide that to the community who is wanting to either work on their own yards, help and a neighbor and help out a neighbor, and maybe organize a neighborhood cleanup, whatever they'd like to do. The tool lending program is a good way to get that going for the community. Oh, and I do want to say that Jeff at Jeff Hubbard will take care of renting it out through the city and has a spot for them.
Jeff, could you come up? You look too comfortable.
Jeff Hubbard, Parks and Rec.
So are we renting them out, or are they just taking them?
I think it was, they were going to put down a deposit, and you could determine what that amount was going to be, and they could then take whatever tools for the weekend, for the night, whatever, and bring back. We have plenty of room in our back office. We just can't store power tools or gas, powered things like that. And we're already renting out ice skates and volleyball equipment and bags and bocce equipment. So, what's some more tools?
Where are you going to keep them?
We have the back office, the back room in our office. We have plenty of space. So I would hope that we would get some sort of rack that you would maybe have in your garage where you'd have them all stacked in, and we'd have a list of what all the items are and maybe tag them or burn a number in so at least we know if we have 4 shovels and 3 rakes and what it is we're giving out. We'd also have a rental agreement form or a checkout agreement form that says, hey, we're going to check out these equipment from this date to this date. Here's all the equipment we're taking. Here's the deposit that we're leaving. And then obviously sign a waiver to say that if you cut your finger off with your shears, we're not liable.
So Sharon isn't buying like a zero-turn lawnmower or anything, right? It's just
No, this is all hand tools. I can't store gas-powered things in our facilities, so it was all just be hand tools.
I actually got an electric mower, and so I have a nice gas mower that I would give away to that if I could figure out a way to store it.
I told him no.
Yeah.
There's a Facebook Marketplace for that.
And then, Sharon actually came, I didn't know she was coming to the council meeting to make that proposal last time, but since she did, and since I've talked to her about it a little bit, she proposed a dollar amount that I thought was a little high, and I think others have had that reaction too. I mean, if people don't have tools, they're not going to be able to come up with a credit. Many people don't have checking accounts anymore, credit cards, or that sort of thing. So I would think something like either a driver's license or an identification card or something that means something to them so they really do want to bring it back. Bring the tools back so they can get their card back. I suppose asking for the firstborn child for that time isn't a good idea, but.
They might need them for labor.
Yeah, true, for labor. I do appreciate your volunteering or allowing your staff and you to have to be in charge of helping people check out. And then the other thing she did want me to say tonight is she thought that with the addition of another person helping on, I haven't asked whether that went through or not, did it? Do we have another person helping on nuisance violations?
Yes, that was approved on the consent agenda.
Okay, I didn't, that passed. Okay, so now we have 1.5 persons that can do that. It would be nice in the notice given to people that are told they need to clean up their yards or whatever to say, and there are tools available if you don't have them, just to help people. So. Anything else up here?
Your Honor, if I may.
You may.
I think this is absolutely a fantastic idea, okay? However, there's always a but.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is something the city should do. I'd love to see a nonprofit, House of Compassion, or the church, the people that are already have the names of the people, know their following. I struggle with the fact too that the people that aren't cleaning up their yards, I find it hard to believe they're doing it or not doing it just for the lack of not having or knowing someone that has the tools. I struggle with that. So again, I've got some tools that I will donate. I just don't like the mechanics, the implementation of asking the city to do this. I think there's a better organization out there that can do this. Thank you, Your Honor.
Sure. Anybody else up here?
I don't have a problem with this. And since Jeff stepped up, I think it's worth a try. I really do. I know that there are people that may have lawnmowers and everything, but they don't have the hedge clippers, or they need shovels or things like that, that there's a low-cost way that, and they only need it once, that I think we give it a test run. Let's see how it works. If we've got the equipment and you've got an idea how you want to do it, let's go.
If there's nobody else up here, I saw Dave was indicating an interest in speaking. Let's open it up to the public.
Dave Grieve, 2327 South Fifth Avenue. Love the idea and share a little bit of Gary's concerns, but there's a lot of people that just don't go to churches and stuff like that now, so I'm willing to say give it a shot. I like it. One of the things that we kind of chatted about when we were helping some neighbors clean up a property next to them, and I don't know all the details, but the house was in probate for 3 years. That's why it went to heck. And sometimes you try and clean a property up and you got to get rid of all this refuse, and that has a cost to it also. Kicked around some ideas that, well, okay, if you're going to try and clean a property up to improve the community, do you get like a form that says at least I got 10 volunteers, so it's not just everybody getting a free dump? But we stacked up trailer loads full of stuff there the other day, and then what do you do with it? You got to find somebody with a burn pit. What do you do with it? And we really want to get some of these places cleaned up. Love giving the idea how to do it, but can we find a way to help them even get rid of the refuse in top of that? It's open discussion. It's a lot of moving parts there, but that poor family next door to that house was struggling, and it took 12 people to put a dent in it. And then what do you do with all the stuff you just cut up? So that's the other side of the coin, is after you cut it, now what? That's my point. So.
Lee Botter, 401 Orchard Drive. I think it's a great program, but I think it needs to be built in as an overall comprehensive program. I think we're doing a little bit of piecemealing. Part of mine is the concern on overburdening staff. I don't care if it's Jeff's, so thank you, Jeff, for stepping up to the plate, or if it would be another department. The concern that I have on that is specifically, I have an example of ourselves. I have filed 2 complaints in the past 60 days regarding the area behind us, which is an eyesore. We have weeds that are over 6 foot tall. We have vermin, including skunks, raccoons, etc., that come in. And we have a very, very nice exclusive neighborhood where neighbors do help neighbors. We go out there with our mowers. We go out there with our lawn shears, etc. I realize that doesn't happen everywhere in town, but we have went out in town in different areas to do that. So I personally would like to see it be part of a comprehensive program. I like what Gary has indicated. I would like to see where it was a bigger program. Farm it out to a nonprofit, farm it out to the school, farm it out to the college, someplace where there can be gas-powered equipment. People do need those mowers. They're not going to go out there with hedge trimmers and cut their grass with, just that. So if we could have gas-powered, so make it a bigger program is what I'm saying. So thank you.
Doris Kinnick, 2020 Catalina Place. As I was listening to Lee, she reminded me of something that took place here, I think it was in July. It was the Catholic Heart Work Camp. And I know there are a lot of kids that have confirmation classes and they have to have community time. So that might be an idea as far as, helping others as well. So I know you did that neighborhood cleanup. So that might be another way to add to this as well. Thank you.
Anybody else from the public wish to speak? Anybody wish to direct staff to move forward?
Could we get some direction on what you would like to see the deposit set at?
I move for approval to direct staff to put together this program and move forward.
Mayor, may I?
Maybe that can be a discussion item. So question, if a $25 deposit that they get back when you return the tool, does that seem like an out-of-line thing that most people couldn't afford?
Seems like a lot.
So I was thinking maybe the amount of tools checked out, you know, if it's just a couple, then a certain amount, and then maybe more, then a little bit more. So just determining where we'd be comfortable putting it at, like for like a couple tools, you know, maybe at 25, and then maybe 3 plus at 50 type thing.
Yeah, I don't know if the amount is so critical. It just amounts to, so that give them incentive to return it. I mean, the Aldi grocery carts are a quarter, but and that gets people to bring them back. So something that they know they're going to get back when they're done.
The whole thing didn't require, I mean, the whole cost of all of them was $400 or less, so they're not that expensive, but we don't get them back. It'd be nice if people would return them, though, too. And I still would like to make the pitch that, I think Dave was signaling to me too, an identification card or something like that, an old watch for that matter, just something that makes Jeff comfortable that they've got the tools, we have something they have to come back for.
Well, that might be up to Jeff, but just a question. Chief Tupper isn't here, but if I give my driver's license, what happens if I'm driving away?
Oh, good question. Yeah, we're going to get you.
Yeah. Honor? Your Honor?
Yeah.
Jeff, can you come back up here, please? What are some of your fees for the sporting equipment that you guys check out? I mean, is it free?
No, it's like $5 usually is what it is for a set of bags or bocce or horseshoes, volleyball, stuff like that. And I can't remember if ice skating was $5 or if it was $2. $2.
Have you had problems getting those things returned? Yeah.
For the skates, they had to leave a $50 deposit because those were all brand new skates. So we took a credit card and put it into our system, and if they didn't return it, but I think we only rented out 30 pairs of skates because the one weekend, what's his name, took them all, was going to hand them out for free, and then we didn't have any good weather Jake Raleigh, so it's not really a true test. But I mean, we've been renting out volleyball and equipment for the last at least 20 years, and everything's always come back. And again, everything is all donated, and I'm sure if we lost 5 shovels in the course of a year, someone would donate some more shovels. And I mean, I don't know how many people are going to come use this. I think it's going to end up sitting in my back room for a length of time before they get used, so I'm not really too worried about it.
Maybe I could make this recommendation. Let's consider having the motion go through without naming a specific price, but have city staff return to us at the next council meeting with a solution about how to handle the mechanics of it.
Your Honor.
Yeah.
Can I remind this council, I think it was 3 years ago, our city administrator came back from the National City Administrators Conference, and Baltimore piloted this program specifically, and it was like a best in practice seminar that they had there. So it is called the Station North Tool Library. And so there's already an outline out there. I think we're overthinking this, trying to solve something that's already been solved. I think we have a great outline. Another community has done it much bigger with great success, a lot of publicity. So that would be my recommendation is we move forward with this and then use existing outlines out there to define what the criteria is.
I think that works as staff has direction that you at least want to move forward with the program. And I think the NEAT committee may be able to look into it further as far as how other cities do it and could help us implement the program.
And find a waiver that is acceptable to our legal team.
I've seen a draft of it, but yeah, that would be a logical committee to do that, wouldn't it? Okay, and they're going to be meeting the next 4 or 5 months on the third Monday of each month to help with that project. Yeah.
That was my motion.
Okay. Is there a
second?
A second?
A second.
Okay. Roll call.
Second.
Kell,
Yes.
Lonnie Hoff,
Yes.
Mitchell,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Thompson,
No.
Fonseca.
Yes.
Okay, we'll give that a run. And then our next one is, discussion item is the police department patrol rifle purchase request.
Good evening, Kyle Stevenson, Captain, Marshtown Police Department. I'm here tonight to request some funding. We're looking to upgrade our patrol rifles. So at the police department, we have access to different weapon systems, some lethal, some less lethal. One of those that's crucial is patrol rifles. This is a AR-15 platform rifle in 5.56. What this does is gives our officers the capability of having an advantage. It's a weapon system that's better from a distance. It's also just overly more accurate, easier to train, easier to use. There are multiple times that our officers are faced with dangerous situations to keep themselves and the public safe. This is just a superior weapon system for that. So this is not a new thing in law enforcement. We have patrol rifles that we currently use. What this request is so that we can get them into more of a modern time. Most of our current patrol rifles are at least 15 years old. There's been a lot of changes in equipment that makes them easier to carry, makes them lighter, smaller, more useful with what we're doing. We currently have some rifles that aren't being used because they're just not effective. So this request is that we would upgrade 9 of our current rifles. We would trade those in and outfit them with the current model that we're using. And then the request is also to purchase an additional 10 rifles. We currently have patrol officers that are on the street right now that do not have access to this. And we allow some officers to carry their own personal rifles, but it's an expensive investment for officers, and we don't require that. So we, as an agency, in my opinion, should be providing these. I think we're well past time that this should be almost mandatory equipment. We haven't went quite that far with our officers, but this plan would allow us to outfit all those that are interested in this, and then actually going forward, the academy is offering this as standard training at the academy. So we would need rifles to provide to those new officers that were attending the academy. So that's my request. Thank you.
Thank you. The floor is open for discussion.
Mike Tupper, Marshtown Police Department. So, in the year 2024, you hear a lot about active shooter response and active shooter preparation, and our police department does a lot of training to prepare our officers for these situations, but it's important that they're properly equipped as well. And so, Captain Stevenson just pointed out that a lot of the equipment that we're using is 15 years old. I've worked here for 13 years, so we haven't done anything in terms of upgrading this equipment in a significant period of time. There's always dueling needs in the police department and in city government, and so we have found a way to kind of push this project to the back burner, but with ATE funding available, I think it's important that we pull this project to the front burner and get it done. So what we're looking for is some consensus that it would be a good idea for us to bring back a resolution at the next meeting approving this project, pending ATE funding.
Two quick things. Wasn't that the kind of rifle used in a recent an assassination attempt?
Yes, the attempt on former President Trump's life, the shooter had an AR-15 style rifle.
And
Yeah, and so when I started, I'm old, right? I'm old, I'm retiring in 171 days, not that I'm counting. But when I started, we had shotguns in cars, right? Now it's pretty much standard that we should have patrol rifles in the cars, and that's really what we need to do to keep our staff safe. This is a critically important tool that enhances the safety of our staff and our community.
Sharon likes to watch the cop shows.
Yeah.
So often, it's the bad guys that have the good guns that are
Yeah.
meat beaters and that sort of thing, and the good cops are.
Yeah, we do see suspects with advanced weaponry anymore. So times have changed, and I know you hear a lot of things in the traditional media and social media about AR-15 rifles, but these are truly a quality tool for public safety to use, and we need to upgrade the equipment that we have so that our staff has the best equipment available. God forbid something bad happens. We need to be prepared.
The second thing I wanted to mention while you're up there, and seeing you in the uniform reminded me, the target of the major investigation has been found in California.
Yes, sir.
And that wasn't based on a Crime Stoppers tips, but usually do help. How did that suspect get found out in California?
Good old-fashioned police work. Our investigators and detectives received some information here recently based on a lot of work that they were putting into social media and telephones, and I'm not going to get too far deep into it because it's an active investigation, but a lot of painstaking detective work went into this, and our crew and our partners with the DCI and the U.S. Marshals did a phenomenal job bringing this to not the resolution that we hoped for, but a dangerous person is no longer in the public to cause more mayhem. So I'm very proud of the work that our police officers and detectives put into this case, and I mentioned that to you all in an email today. And again, I think it's my obligation to you to tell you what we need to be successful. And this equipment request tonight is something that is long overdue and something that we need to make sure that we can protect our staff.
Council comments or questions for the chief, and then we'll open it up to the public. Ms. Mitchell, go ahead.
Yeah, I 100% back you, Chief. What is the average cost of these rifles?
You're going to make me do math here. In the proposal that I put out there, I've got the quantities listed. So the 10 new rifles, to fully equip them is $16,000. So $1,600. Is my math right? Who's checking my math? Mm-hmm. I signed up to be a cop for a reason. It wasn't to do math.
Notice how fast I ran away from the math problem.
Yeah. So we will get on the upgraded ones that we're trading in. We will get some trade value. Again, the rifles that we're looking to trade are, they're not going to get a lot out of them, a few $100s maybe. So you have a little bit reduced cost on the trades, the new rifles, but all of them will require optics, which is like an aiming platform. They'll require lights, slings, all the things that allow the officer to effectively use them in the field. All that stuff adds up, and that's where the cost comes into. Thanks.
Definitely understand that. Thank you.
Thanks.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Kyle, you made a comment earlier that those officers that are interested, so you have officers that they have no interest in having a AR-15 rifle assigned to them?
There are. I'm going to say it's less, very, very few, but there are some that do not have one that have an express interest. So basically what we did is reach out to see who would want one. Most of the ones that are very interested in it have purchased their own and have their own. Some of the people have been issued, so they don't have them, but there are at least some aspect of people that are not interested in one.
So this amount will get you 100% coverage then? This amount that you want to purchase?
We are not looking to go to a mandatory, everybody has to carry one right now.
I understand. I mean, I'm taking out the few that have no interest in carrying a high-velocity AR-15. The ones that want to, will this get you 100% coverage of those that want to?
Yes, and it will also allow us to issue them to new officers. So, yes.
And I think just a point of clarification, it's not that the officers don't want this equipment, is they don't want to make the personal investment of $1,600 out of their own pocket to have a rifle. So, and I don't disagree with them. I think this is something that we probably need to be issuing to people.
Chief, I understand that. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I just wanted to clarify that minus that number, that we will have everybody that wants one, because I understand these have to be cited to the individual, so.
Yes.
Everybody's got, it's not one we leave in the car. It comes and goes with the officer.
Yeah, correct. Unlike a shotgun, it's not like we can share them. This has got to be one officer to one weapon system, correct? And yes, to answer your question, it does. Thank you.
Anyone else up here?
Your Honor, I think it's a good idea to keep our officers properly equipped. I would make a motion that we move forward with the purchase of the rifles as described.
I second.
Yeah, let's go for public comment too.
Curious, I know you say you don't use the shotguns as much, you don't use bean bags, don't use that also, because that's short range in a city environment, there's a lot less carry. I come from Kansas, a lot of guns, so curious.
No, there's still a place in law enforcement for the 12-gauge shotgun, and we still do utilize that equipment. And we utilize it for less lethal projectiles, especially.
Car, right?
Yeah, and so we still have that equipment available to us as well. But if we had an active shooter event at the high school, we're not going to take a shotgun in with us. We're going to want a AR-15 rifle to take care of that job.
But you can do door breaches with a shotgun too, though.
Yeah, we still have that equipment available to us, and we still do utilize it, yes.
Okay. Can the officers purchase the older equipment instead of trade-in, can they purchase the older equipment?
No, we're going to declare the older equipment surplus property and trade it and get best value for the new equipment that we need to buy.
Okay. What do you carry sidearm? Is it high enough caliber to shoot through a car door? I'm just curious, because in Kansas, they like 45s because it'll go through a car door.
There's a lot that goes into modern firearms and law enforcement and ballistics. I'm not going to get into some of that because it's safety information that I'm not really going to discuss publicly. But we have experts in our department that look at these issues, not named Mike Tupper. We train people in the police department very well to give me advice about what equipment we need, and I feel very good that we're on the right path and going in the right direction. And we have made some significant investments in handgun purchases over the last few years.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Comment?
Yeah, Jim Shaw, 522 North 2nd Street. I'm in favor of this, and I don't want my police force going to an average to aggressive shooter with an AR-15 with their sidearms. That's not good.
Lonnie?
Lonnie Hoagland. You need to give the gentleman whatever he needs. He needs to have the equipment he desires. The bad guys get what they need, and I support him 1,000,000%. Sorry for Mr. Greer's trying to run a real professional meeting, and it gets sloppy once in a while just because unprofessionalism for us, but we need to speak. You need to have a little bit of unprofessionalism, but get the people to talk, but he needs whatever he needs.
I just wear a tie because of the disguise.
And the last thing I would just like to say, this city council in the 13 years that I've worked for you has always been very supportive of the police department, and I can't remember many times that I've come and asked for anything that you've said no. We try to do the best that we can to balance needs and wants, and we understand that money does not grow on trees. There's a couple things I'd like to clean up before I retire. This is one of them. I think that this would put us in a positive path and set us up well for the future. So I appreciate your consideration.
Your Honor, I have a financial question now, if I may. Pertaining to this.
Okay.
do we have the ATE fund balance, or do we have to wait? I mean, where are we at for this right now?
Yeah, I wanted to see what the temperature was with the city council, but we have $100,000 that we've already committed for body cameras and car cameras. So I will meet with Diana to see where our balance is, but we still are collecting ATE funds, and I'm confident that we have the revenue necessary to make this happen.
Thanks, Chief.
Lee Botter, 401 Orchard Drive. I too support getting these weapons that our police officers absolutely need. And this is what the ATE, not only by law, has to do now, but that's what we were promoting way back before it was law. Make sure our safety for our police, our firemen, and our citizens come first. Thank you.
All right, I've forgotten where things stand. We have a motion and a second.
Yes, we do.
Let's call the roll.
Schneider?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Fonseca?
Yes.
Kell?
Yes.
Lottie Hoff?
Yes.
Mitchell?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
That carried. Thank you. I just have to share, one of the worst cases I've handled in my 45 years as a lawyer was an AK that was used by a 17-year-old to shoot a 15-year-old to death, and then he shot himself to death. And it was owned by an Army recruiter who kept it in his home in his closet. He bought it from one of his recruits because the recruit was afraid he was going to use it on himself or kill somebody. They had no ammunition there. The 17-year-old found an 18-year-old to go to Walmart, buy the ammunition, load the gun, and kill somebody. Those things are just awful if they are not locked up and cared for. It's just a terrible weapon, but I can't imagine going into an active shooting situation without having firepower like that. Just as a caution to those that end up with those in their homes. So, let's go on to industrial property tax abatement. Not quite such a sexy topic. Who wants to start this one?
I will.
Thanks.
Okay, the industrial tax abatement program that the city of Marshalltown hasn't been updated to keep up with state law. And there are some, and I mentioned them in my memo, research service facilities, distribution centers, and public warehouses that are allowed under the state code. But as we do not have those listed in our ordinance, would we have the opportunity to have such businesses come into in our community and ask for the abatement? The council would not be empowered to grant it. One of the fears when you start talking about this kind of thing is we want to make sure that the city has capacity to also service those businesses. And that's why I did reach out to the utilities as well as the chamber to make sure that everybody was in line with the fact that even if it's in an ordinance, it does not give a 100% guarantee that that service or that community business could be serviced under our current capacity. There's always things that, if you project out long enough and have time to upgrade or require certain self-supporting utilities, that's one thing, but this is all contingent upon a review of those utilities before it would come before council.
Thank you. Floor is open for discussion on this one. Any discussion by the public on this one? Any direction staff would like in the form of a motion to proceed?
Your Honor, I'd move that we move forward with this housekeeping item and add those structures, facilities to the list.
I would second that.
Roll call.
Lottie Hoff?
Yes.
Mitchell?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Fonseca?
Yes.
Kell?
Yes.
Okay, that takes us to a closed session. We appreciate the people coming to these meetings, but get the hell out of here.
Especially with our parking. Have a good walk.
Yeah, exactly.